Most men and women in their 20s are not thinking about whether they're going to live or die. But when my wife Benedicta was around 28 years old, she was in a fight for her life. In this video, you're going to see an interview with Benedicta and a friend of hers who was around in that terrible year of 2003, when Benedicta was struggling just to live another day. She was described in those days as looking like a ghost, and one person said she looked like death. And in fact, at one point she did seem to die and leave her body, where she saw Jesus and was given a tour of heaven. In this video, you'll get her friend's perspective of this strange, terrible, and amazing year in the life of Benedicta. Well, we are here with a special guest. This is a very special lady right here. This is my wife's good friend, Priscilla, who knew her way back in the day when she went through that terrible year in 2003 where she was so horribly sick, and in fact, it seems like she died at one point, and the Lord took her to heaven, and she saw heaven. So we wanted to just get the perspective of Priscilla as she knew her during that time she was going through this horrible experience. Priscilla, thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you, sir.
And just tell us a little bit about your impression. You knew her when she was really suffering, struggling. Tell us a little bit about what you saw in her during that time.
Yeah. My friend Benedicta she is a very good friend of mine. We grown up as a teenager in Dokpemu, Agege. So we both work in the same company. But for a little time, I couldn't see her. I don't know whereabouts her. Every one of us was worried. The day we got to know her, see her, we find that she was so lean. She was like a ghost. She was like a ghost.
So you looked at her and immediately you could see something
I knew
was
that
really
something is wrong.
wrong.
When I saw her, I said, Benedicta, where have you been? What happened? But before she would say anything, I knew that something was going on. Because all over her body, you will know that something strange is happening in her body.
So this was not the same person
this is not the same,
that you had known before?
Yeah, this is not the same person. When I saw her, I knew that this is not the same person I used to know. So we were very worried. I'm sure she took you there. You saw the environment.
We did.
We went there. So she explained everything to us that 3 days she was inside the house. She was dead.
Wow. So she was this dead. Right immediately after she had been through that? Sweetie,
right at the middle of the illness.
Yes.
And that was, when I told you that I passed out.
Yes.
And then by the time I realized myself, again, that I was lying on the floor, I quickly got up, tied a scarf from my hair, and then packed, a few things, and then got to road. And then I wanted to go and stay with my sister. I stayed there, towing here. I just went there now, but they've packed out. And then on my way going, I saw her at the Ikeja bus stop.
So you had just come from this experience.
Yeah.
Where you died, you came back,
yes,
and you looked for somebody, you couldn't find them, and then you ran into Priscilla.
Yes, exactly.
And then I was going to my sister that lives at Toyin here. And then while I was going, I saw her, and then our another friend, Ngozi, two of them were just going to enter a bus at the Ikeja bus stop, and then they saw me at the Ikeja bus stop, and they were like shocked.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was like a
They
ghost.
were like, what?
It's like a haze patient.
Yeah.
It's like when you saw her, you know that this is if they told you that this girl, she has no ace, you will say it's a lie. She was like a ghost. Like somebody that just coming from
the land of dead.
Yes. So when we saw her, we were shocked.
Yes.
So she's trying to explain everything but we couldn't hold up because when we saw her, we knew that it was not ordinary hand.
Yes.
So we have to, cuddle her, tell her that this is not a physical battle. This is a spiritual battle. That we have to face this in a spiritual way. So we now took her to my pastor, Pastor Chima.
Okay. So you were going to Pastor Chima's church?
Yes.
And you were going to the same
It was not a church, it was a fellowship. We started the fellowship
once in a week.
In his house, a very small room like this. That is where we started the fellowship. So that was where we took her to.
Okay.
Before the church. The church
so
is
you
now,
went with her to the pastor?
I went with her another friend who got she's married now.
Okay.
We still in the same Lagos here, but where she lives at Songo is a very far place from Lagos here. Yeah. It's the same Ogun State, but in Lagos. So we both took her to Pastor Chima. So we explained to Chima that this is our good friend. We work together in the same company. Yes. She's just very nice to us. That whatever he can do to help us, to bring up, to pray to God, to intercede so that there will be changes.
Yes.
And the pastor.
Do you remember his response, what he said, what he did at that first meeting when he saw her like that?
Pastor Chima did not know her very well.
He didn't know her
We
well.
know her.
Yes.
We know the condition that she was passing through.
Yeah.
But mere saying her, Pastor Chima knows that this woman was passing through her. Mm-hmm. He knew. He prophesied and he told her that God is going to heal. That was the beginning of the whole.
Yeah, Pastor Chima now, started praying so hard with my friends anointed me.
Yes.
So you
pray so hard.
This was not just a little quiet 1 minute prayer.
No,
but
we keep on.
No,
it was
prayer.
not every week. We keep on coming to Pastor Chima.
Okay.
Because it was not a day prayer. So she keep on coming. We keep on meeting there.
Regular,
yes,
weekly
every week, every 2
meetings.
days interview was coming. She was coming. We will meet ourselves there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wherever we are, we'll tell her that because we work in the same company. So as a contractor there, it's Pecomi. So she always managed to come there. We make sure that we'll tell her, please just try. Get out of that house. Come out.
Yeah.
So we will meet there. From there, we'll both go to
Pastor
Chima at Ogba Okera.
Yeah.
To intercede for
Sure.
her. So that was how the prayer was going on. She was getting herself. Gradually, she was getting better. That was how the healing took place.
Yeah. So in many ways, Benedicta, you were very much alone, but you did have some caring friends like Priscilla and like Pastor.
Yes.
Tell us, how much did that mean to you during that terrible time?
It meant a lot to me. Because all the while I was going through that terrible illness, I was alone in my room, going through it with nobody caring, no food, no money, nobody, caring too much.
And you really couldn't work much during that time.
I couldn't work much.
But once in a while, because I needed money to buy some medication and go to hospital or something, so I would just manage to go out. And then to see if I can get some business. Yeah. Because we do business in the companies. And sometimes I'll get, sometimes I will not get. Then when I get some money, I will just stay home 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and make sure I take care of myself a little bit. And
so
before I come out.
You're staying home 2 and 3 weeks at a time without working.
Yeah. Sometimes in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we don't see her. So we'll go to the house at Agege, where you went to go and look for her.
Yeah.
To make sure she's still in the land of the living.
Yeah, she was still living there. But when it comes to a time, we will advise her that she's going to leave that place.
Yes.
Now, Benedicta, it surprises me you could even come up with the money. I know a lot of times when you rent an apartment in Lagos, they want you to pay like 6 months in advance, a year in advance.
Yes.
And you weren't hardly working, but I guess you saved some money from previous times?
Not only previous time. God blessed me, that period. I got a little business. God just blessed me during that period.
And you had enough strength to do it?
Yeah, I had enough strength to do the business. And then I made some money. So I kept it because I knew I was looking for a place to park to. So by the time she gave me the hint that they are parking out, I should come and take that place. Then I kind of kept my money tight. So that was what happened. By the time they were about to leave, so that same week, she said I should bring the money. Yeah. They paid for, the whole thing, yeah.
So, she looked so terrible when you first saw her after all of that. And then she didn't really recover immediately or gain a lot of weight.
It took about 2 years before she recovered.
About 2 years?
2 years after. Yeah. Before the flesh was coming out. You will see her, all the veins was coming out of her.
All the veins.
She became red. She was red. She was red, so slim,
Yeah.
so dry, not even slim, dry. She was dry.
Yeah,
you would see the whole bones on her body.
Well, you know, she told me that she would sometimes cover her face. She was so ashamed of how she
yes,
looked.
sometimes she will use scarf to cover her face
Ah,
so that people will not
recognize
her.
wow.
So after some time, when she left that place, it took about 2 years and a half before she was able to recover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gradually, she was
It was
coming
a
up.
long process.
Yes, it was a long process.
And you were supporting her and befriending her during that
come,
whole time.
Yes, I come to the house to see her, to know.
She was
coming to the house to know.
visit.
So I always come time to time to come and check for her.
Yeah.
So that was how the healing was take place. So everything changed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before God proved himself.
Well, Priscilla, we thank God for you and for your friendship. And here you are all these years later. And Benedicta is healthy and prosperous and living in America. Things have a way of turning around, don't they?
Yes.
She came for my
Glory
traditional
be- yes,
wedding.
I was the MC.
She was there doing MC.
I was busy.
All over the place.
Wow.
Working so hard to make sure that the traditional wedding was good.
Well, as Benedicta's husband, I speak for both of us, saying thank you for caring for her when she really could hardly care for herself. And, you know, a good friend is hard to find, and you were just that to her. So not only, I know she appreciates you, but I appreciate you too. You helped bring her through the roughest time of her entire life. And we just pray God's blessing on you, my sister. May He fill you with joy and peace and prosperity and grant you the desires of your heart and just bless you in every possible way. In the name of Jesus. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you.
Well, with God, things do indeed have a way of turning around. I thank God He spared Benedicta's life and enabled her to become my wife as well as my ministry partner. To be alerted when we post more videos, please subscribe to this channel, and then click the little bell next to the subscribed button. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the thumbs up like icon so that YouTube will rank it higher in its search engine and more people will be able to see it. Well, that's it for now. God bless. And see you again soon.